Hi, I'm Shreya and this is Decoding Code. In this video, I will be explaining to you guys 2D arrays and multidimensional arrays in general. And these arrays are not just arrays of values, but they're actually arrays of arrays, if that makes any sense. So in a one-dimensional array, each array index represents one value. But in a two-dimensional array, each array index represents another array. It represents a one-dimensional array. So a 2D array is made up of one-dimensional arrays, and then the same thing goes for a 3D array, but a 3D array is made up of 2D arrays. Actually, I have one here, and this array is called points, because in the example you'll see what I mean. And here, this is an array, but it's made up of individual arrays, if this makes any sense. And these arrays have two values in them. So this is one array. So let's start with the differences between one-dimensional arrays and two-dimensional arrays. So with initializing the array, one-dimensional arrays would only have one of these square brackets, but two-dimensional arrays have two of them. The two-dimensional arrays are made up of actual arrays and not just values. And also, if you wanted to print out one of the values in the array, you would have to go in and pinpoint exactly which one you want by using two values. So let me explain this to you guys really quick. So in a one-dimensional array, you would just kind of point out the array index, and that would be that. But in two-dimensional arrays, it's a little bit more complex because each row is an individual array. And so the array index begins with 0. So this first row is 0. And then, so this is this first value. And then the second value is within this array, what's the index? So within the first row, 1 would be this second value because it starts with 0. This value would be 5. But if I wanted to get, let's say, -2, this would be 0, 1, 2, 3. So the first one would be 3, and then this would be the 0 index within that third row. It would be 3, 0. Let's go on to printing the actual array. So there's some ways that you can do this. One way is printing each number separately. Now this is what I've done here actually. I've printed each number, and they're not really in identifiable format, they're just written one after the other. Here I created a for loop, and I'm saying I'm creating this integer and it's called x, and I'm putting it equal to 0, and then x would be less than points.length, and basically I'm creating the index for the rows, and then each time x is x plus 1. And then inside of that for loop I create another for loop, and this one is y. And then it's basically the same thing as x, except that y is less than points of x.length. So this is within each row the index, the columns basically. So then I print points of x and y, and then I add a space because I don't want them all running together. And basically what this does is it'll go through each row and go through the first number and then the second number, and then go to the next row and do all of that all over again. And so that will basically print out all of the numbers in this array. But this doesn't really have an identifiable format. You can't really identify it as an array, and it's not the easiest that it could be. There's another way that you can print the array, and this is a very easy way. All you have to do is put arrays.deep2string. If I click on this, I can see that this deep2string is designed for converting multidimensional arrays to strings, and basically we are working with a two-dimensional array, so it just converts it to a string and it makes my life way easier. So we just put the name of the array here, the identifier, and we print that out, and that's just one line. It's very easy and it's very efficient. So what I want to do with this array is that I'm assuming that there are points on a graph, and these points make up a line. So what I want to do now is to kind of show you how to work with this. I'm going to make this line, I'm going to translate it over the line x equals y. And I know this is like a math lesson, which I do not like, but basically all that does is that it switches the numbers of the array, and it makes them, so if this was 4, 5, then if we translate it over the x equals y line, then it would become 5, 4. So how we go through each row and then switch the numbers is that we know that in each row there's only 0 and 1. There's only 2 kind of numbers in each row. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a for loop, and in this for loop I create this integer I, and I put it equal to 0 because right now I'm creating the index for each row. I'm going to make the condition that I is less than points.length, so it doesn't keep running on and make errors, and then I is plus 1 each time. So what I want to do is save the first point, and since I is 0 right now in the first run through, then this would be 0, 0, which right now would be 4. So let's just do this with the first one. So with I as 0 right now, the point would be 4, and then we would save that in first num, and then we would make this first number equal to the second number, which is our first step of kind of swapping them. And the 0, 1 would be 0, and then 1, which would be 5. So we're setting it for equal to 5, which is this number. So now it's 5, 5. And then we set the last number equal to first num, which we saved in the beginning. So these are the steps to swapping these two numbers, and then I do I++, and then I do it for all of these rows. Eventually, all of the points will be switched, and then that line would be translated across the line x equals y. So that is just doing a simple kind of function using the array. So I just explained this deep toString to you guys, and then we can use it here. And basically what this shows us is that we can create an integer that acts like the index, and that goes through each row or each column if you like. Here it goes through each column, and you can go into each and every value and do something to it if that is what you want to do. Yeah, this is actually all I wanted to get done in this video. I hope you guys liked the video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content. Hit that notification bell if you want to get notifications, and comment down below any questions or feedback that you guys might have for me. I will see you guys again next week with another video, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!